The crisis in Syria started some 2 years ago, and Lebanon, having a long border with Syria, saw the first arrivals into the north of its country in March 2011. The people have different needs, but we estimate that approximately 30% of the people arriving are in need of shelter assistance. In recent months, we have seen that the arrivals have changed. These are people that have been displaced several times within Syria and have now been forced to leave because they have run out of resources and there are no safe places for them to stay. The level of trauma has also increased, and we can see that people have endured suffering before arriving in Lebanon. Another group of refugees from Syria are the Palestinian refugees. Already Lebanon is host to close to 500,000 Palestinian refugees, also since 1948, and now the arrival of new ones are putting additional strain on a very fragile situation of overcrowdedness and limited resources for the Palestinians. In 2011, NRC engaged providing shelter to the first arrivals from Syria. The solution pursued, both by the refugees but also endorsed by the Lebanese government, is the host solution. That meant in the beginning that people would be hosted with families, with friends, or generous Lebanese families who opened their homes to receive them. NRC provided basic upgrades to extensions to houses, to parts of a building that were not in use, so that they could be inhabited and people would have protection from the elements and sufficient hygienic facilities with running water and toilets. Information is now being provided to people more or less from the moment they arrive. They are informed about how to register as refugees, how they can enroll their children into Lebanese schools, but they're also informed on where different services are available. During the winter months, NRC provides emergency winterization. That means sealing off unfinished structures with plastic sheeting and provisional doors to provide protection from the element. These houses are very, very basic, but this is much, much better than sleeping under the open skies. In addition, we provide heating stoves, mattresses, blankets, and pillows so that people can have a safe and warm place to sleep. Education is extremely important. Not only education per se, that knowledge is power, but also to provide some normalcy into the lives of children during their displacement. The situation at the beginning of 2013 is deeply worrying. As I speak, more than 3,000 people arrive from Syria every day. Almost half of these enter the country legally, walking across the border at night, being received by local host communities from the north to the central parts of the Bekaa. The challenge is increasing, and with the rate of the current arrivals, we as an international community are not able to respond to the needs fast enough. The fact that there are no camps in Lebanon, but that people are invited to go into host communities, makes the challenge even more complicated in the sense that we need to identify these people. We need to find them. What we are faced with is a humanitarian crisis where the response is not sufficient. The rate of the arrivals is too high. So what we need is more support, more funding, more actors enabling us to respond to the needs of this increasing population.